So today I want to speak to you about something as we approach Christmas that's so important to children, and for me personally this has a very big message. Mental health, self-esteem and anxiety in children. As a teacher we have the power to make or break a child's day, and I think it's important that we always remember that and we make sure we encourage children, keep their self-esteem up. Without self-esteem, children can't learn. Now, I've got three daughters, and my middle daughter has suffered with very bad anxiety through her teenage years. But in infant school, we teach the children a lot about how to manage their feelings through lessons called PSHE, which is like the well-being lessons. We teach them how to get on with each other and how to cope when things go wrong with a friend. And what I wanted to talk to you about today is something that I used to do with the children in year 2 actually, so they were only 6 and 7 years old, to help them to manage their own emotions. And I think if we can do that with children when they're very young, it sets them up when they get to their teenage years, when peer pressure and things get a lot harder for children, that they will be able to have the tools and the methods to cope with their self-esteem, their anxiety, their feelings of maybe worthlessness or competition or whatever it is when they get to their teenage years. So during these PSHE lessons, I would teach the children ways to calm down, or ways to sort of think about their body when they used to get quite stressed or angry. And we talk about things like, well, maybe go off and read a book, maybe listen to some music. If you've got a problem that's worrying you, make sure you talk to an adult or a grown-up or a teacher, somebody that you trust. We talked about the importance of their breathing. Breathe deeply, take a moment before you think about acting. And the other thing I did was I used to play some music, and I said to the children that we could do some meditation. Now, meditation is quite a grown-up thing for small children to do, but the children absolutely loved it. We used to lie down on the floor, and I used to say to them, right, close your eyes and I want you to breathe very deeply. And we used to count our breaths, and then I would just do a very short meditation. So it might only be 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at most, because the younger children do get quite fidgety. So I didn't want it to get too long. And we'd talk about them, and I would talk them through about, so once they'd done their breathing, we would talk about, right, I want you to feel your toes, tighten your toes, release your toes, tighten your legs, release your legs, tighten your tummy, release your tummy, tighten your arms, release your arms. And then think about your face, really relax your face. And then we talk about them floating up from the ground into the sky on a cloud and floating away from whatever it is that was in their mind. So float away from your problems, look down on the problems, try and release those problems from your mind. If a thought pops into your head, try and let it pass over your head. And we used to talk them through floating on this cloud. It was nice and sunny. They could feel the warmth on their back. They were comfy, they were cosy. And then we'd bring them back down to the ground on their cloud. And then slowly they would open their eyes. And it just gave them a moment to step out of the world, to step out of where they were at that time. And the children absolutely loved it. They really did. They used to come in every day. They'd have another story. They'd say, oh, my dad says he does this as well. And used to think it was a really grown-up thing to do. And it got to the point where I used to do it several times a week. They would say, oh, please can we do that again? So I started doing it just before the children went out to lunchtime, just for anybody that wanted to. And out of a class of 30, there was probably at least 14 that would want to do it. So we would stay behind, we would close the door, we put a sign on the door, and we'd just do a little bit of meditation, sort of very childlike meditation. And I was thinking how important this is, that children have those skills going forward, because as an adult I would love to be able to meditate, and I do try, and I try to release that pressure from my mind, especially at times like this when we've got tier 4, corona, we can't see our families, everybody's feeling quite stressed because of Christmas. Lovely feeling to let go of those tensions. Now if we can teach children that skill from a very young age, maybe just take your child for 5 minutes a day, light a candle even, have a special area which you know isn't going to be interrupted. I know that's hard with younger children, but see if you can just find an area for your, maybe involve all the children, however old they are, and try and do the breathing, tense and release different parts of your body, and then float up on that cloud and see if you can get them into those habits which will really help them as they go through their teenage years to have those moments of calm and find those moments of calm. Just one final thing, this was a tip on Calmer Kids on Instagram, and this is one of these shapes, and they use this in their yoga classes for young children to show them how to breathe, and I think it's brilliant. You breathe in and out, and it just shows them how the lungs will move when they're breathing in and out. And I bought one actually just to show children how we can do that meditation, and how without saying anything to the children you could just use this to show them how to breathe in and out with the ball. So I hope that helps. It's something that's very close to my heart: children's mental health, children's self-esteem, anxiety, making sure we maintain that through all their schooling, making sure that children do not hit those anxiety problems, not only as a young child, but particularly as they get through school and into teenage years with all that peer pressure. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a lovely Christmas, and I will speak to you soon.